Hello, Cowboy Nation! We wash up for another round of Dallas Cowboys news. Leave your like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any news from your team. Rumor: Cowboys to trade Dak Prescott backup QB Cooper Rush or Trey Lance, 10 truths inside the star. Frisco, the Dallas Cowboys quarterback room and its future involved a lot of moving parts. So we can understand how, looking from the outside, those moving parts seem like complications. But from inside the star? The moving parts involving Dak Prescott, Cooper Rush and Trey Lance actually amount to a smooth operation and the likelihood of a clear plan. Our 10 answers to your questions about the Cowboys' plan. 1. The Cowboys' long-standing plan to forge a contract extension with Prescott before the start of the NFL business year in March 2024 has remained intact all along. Have the Cowboys examined and re-examined the concept from every angle, making sure it's right? Yes. Is the fact that they didn't do this before worrying? Of course. But the $59 million cap hit for 2024 was never going to go away. It helps that Dak experienced an MVP-level season. But he would have had to have been a disastrous failure this year for the plan to change. 2. The Cowboys' late summer trade of Lance, in which they gave up a fourth-round pick for a high-level prospect. But so far unsuccessful, was never about leverage against Dak Prescott, as it involved Dak's job or his upcoming contract. Lance is simply not at the level where he can be used as a bargaining chip. He is by no means considered the starting QB of the future. That misreported narrative with Slash is not only false, it's terribly, terribly stupid. 3. There's nothing weird about that trade. Lance will either work as a benefit or not. Giving up a fourth-round pick is a smart dark bid trying to hit a valuable target. 4. It has been written that this has been a lost year in Lance's development. Nobody inside this building feels that way. Lance is still only 23 and is being mentored by the likes of head coach Mike McCarthy, coordinator Brian Schottenheimer and Prescott and Rush themselves. "I'm with Trey every day," said McCarthy. "I see him in meetings. He's very comfortable, very confident. I love his personality, I love his work ethic, obviously very talented. He's fitted in perfectly. This is indeed a marvelous opportunity for Lance, although he would obviously prefer to play." 5. It was written that Dallas will have to make a choice about keeping Lance around or not. In fact, according to contract website SpotTrack, Lance is on the Cowboys roster bubble in 2024. That's false. He's an asset if not as a third-string QB, assuming he doesn't beat Rush next summer, then in a trade. As long as Dallas gets more than a fourth-round pick for him. 6. Dallas can pay him to leave. This comes from NFL contract expert Mike Giannitti, who wrote, Trey Lance's entire $5.3 million salary for 2024 is fully guaranteed. It's hard to imagine him being tradable, again, so Dallas either makes him an overpaid QB2 next season, or pays him to leave. We're not following that logic at all. The $5.3 million salary is indeed guaranteed, but it's not problematic. And because it's guaranteed, it wouldn't make sense to cut it. And no, Dallas isn't going to elevate him above Rush because he makes a few million more than the best QB, right now, Rush. 7. It's being written that keeping Rush means discarding Lance. This is simply untrue. In October, we reported on Cowboys rumors that suggested the team intended to keep Lance. 8. How can they do that? As we wrote, the Cowboys, two sources told CowboysSI.com, do not plan to exercise the fifth-year option on Lance in the spring of 2025 because it would cost about $25 million. But do plan to find a way to keep him in Dallas, we wrote. Dallas could offer Lance a long-term deal to stay here and inherit not Dak's job, but that of Rush. He might say no. In his early 20s and as a former first-round pick, would he really want to give up his dream of being an NFL starting QB? Probably not. But Dallas is going to try. 9. It's being written that Dallas can't afford Dak and keep the others. That's false. Prescott's APY could reach $55 million or $60 million. But A, that doesn't mean the cap hit has to be, and B, that doesn't mean there isn't room to retain value at other positions. 10. Lance is on the roster bubble. No! It would be foolish to cut Trey Lance, both because of his potential and because of his guaranteed money. Negotiate with him? Sign him? Develop him? Promote him, should he deserve that? All feasible. But acquiring QBs who can play is too big a challenge in the NFL to throw them away. The Cowboys now have 3 quarterbacks on the roster who deserve to be here. If they so choose, that could also still be true in 2024. Cowboys star calls out former Vikings RB Dalvin Cook for joining the Ravens. Former Minnesota Vikings running back Dalvin Cook got a second chance to win a ring in his first year out of Minnesota after joining the Baltimore Ravens in Week 18, and Dallas Cowboys Hall of Fame member Michael Irvin isn't happy about it. Cook, who signed a $6.8 million contract with the New York Jets in the offseason, was unhappy with his role in the deterioration of the Jets' offense and was waived on January 3, which led him to sign with the Ravens the next day. In a broadcast of Fox Sports Undisputed on January 5, Irvin criticized Cook for joining Baltimore's rushing attack after Cook struggled last year to prove he is still one of the league's most productive defenders since leaving the Vikings. It's convenient to bring up Cook's desire to prove his worth, but deny him every player's dream of winning a Super Bowl. Irvin made this statement a day after saying that the Cowboys needed to sign Cook. Irvin argued that Cook could have benefited more by signing with Dallas and helping improve their running game at number 14. Irvin added that sometimes things are done before they're done, signaling that Cook's move to Baltimore may have been written before the Cowboys had a chance. That may be true, considering that Cook's agent, Zach Hiller, represents Ravens wide receiver Zay Jones and has a connection to Baltimore's front office. But blaming Cook for getting into an even better playoff situation is a sign of some bitterness on Irvin's part. Irvin ignored the fact that the Ravens, 13-3, have the clearest path to the Super Bowl as favorites in the AFC and are the team to beat with the best record this season. Either team would be a great fit for Cook as their second running back. The Ravens are third in run-blocking win rate, 73%, while Dallas is right behind with a 72% win rate as the sixth-best run-blocking line in the NFL, according to ESPN Analytics. Irvin could have played fair and said that the Cowboys lost a player who could bring some advantage in the postseason. Instead, Irvin's argument boiled down to, Dallas didn't make a mistake, Dalvin did, the words of a jealous lover. Irvin's argument on Cook's behalf has some merit. Cook refused to take a pay cut last offseason, leading the Vikings to release him in June 2023. He said he wanted to be valued by his next team and considered the Jets an ideal landing spot. But New York's offensive line crumbled, ranking 31st in block win rate, 68%. The Jets also ranked last in time of possession amid the carousel of backup defenders in place of Aaron Rodgers. One of the league's best big play threats, Cook's longest run of the season was just 14 yards, and he has just 4 runs of 10 or more yards on the year. He averages 14.3 yards per game and 35 yards on the ground, the season record. Leave your like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss your team's news. Thanks!